Some days you just can't find a good place to have lunch, and that's no truer than in this week's episode of Blood Blockade Battlefront. In many respects, I think Triple B works a lot better as a comedy series than it does as an action series. This week's episode was a laugh riot. It was comedy gold. It was amazing. What I also really loved about this episode is that it's basically the last real one, I believe, until we get to the finale. And the only reason I say that is because it seems like the next episode is going to be a recap. And if it is a recap from beginning to end, that's a real bummer, because I was just hoping we'd just get a little more FaceTime with some of these characters. And if that's going to be the final episode, I really can't wait to see what it's going to involve. There are two main storylines going on in this week's episode, and the episode opens up with Leo, Zap, and Zed O'Brien at that diner, and they're getting ready to have lunch, and to them, it seems like a complete spiritual experience. They are in complete euphoria. They've been waiting for this meal for a long time, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, this giant mecha bomb thing just smashes right into the diner, ruining everything, and we get to see that Libra is outside fighting against this massive army of ridiculous-looking creatures. Then when the episode actually picks up again, we go back in time and we get to see all of the events leading up to this. And most of the episode involves Leo, Zap, and Zed going out trying to find something to eat. And it seems really simple at first. They could just go to any other fast food joint that they've eaten at multiple times, but they're going to turn this into some sort of Harold and Kumar-like adventure to find the perfect lunch. The first place they go to is a sushi restaurant, which at first is kind of strange because you think, well, Zed's a fish man, but then again, all fish in the sea just eat other fish, so it kind of works out. But Zap doesn't want to go there, and then that's when we realize that every single restaurant that they go to after this is going to be completely messed up and downright dangerous. There are some restaurants where people will just outright kill you. There are restaurants where the food will come to life and devour you. My personal favorite was the diner where the booths were actually alive and they had these weird creepy mouths. They looked really cartoony and over the top, but it was disturbing because there was blood splatter all over the place. Just all the various different crazy restaurants they go to is incredibly hilarious, and it definitely evokes that space dandy vibe. My favorite thing about this week's episode is as the actual episode is going on, their hunger is intensifying, and Leo is growing steadily more insane as the actual episode goes on. By the end of it, he's having hallucinations of this massive food god who hangs out in space giving out advice. But Leo's just saying this because he's completely insane and wants to eat. After coming up empty at multiple restaurants, he believes that it's some form of divine punishment and starts screaming about punishment in the streets at the top of his lungs, flipping around, rolling around. It's definitely, I think, the funniest scene of the entire episode. And there's a whole nother subplot about Libra who's trying to find all those creatures using those mechanized weapons, which, is anybody a little disappointed we didn't get to see that big battle that they were showing off at the beginning of the episode? That would have been awesome, but still, we get to see more of the black and white storyline at the very end of the episode. Both black and white are getting ready to bum rush Leo and take his godly eyes. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Blood Blockade Battlefront? This was an amazingly funny episode of the series, one of the funniest that I've seen thus far, and there's so much attention to detail in this show, and that's one of the main reasons to check it out. That whole montage of them going around to the various restaurants and all the weird oddities that came from them, just so many amazing moments, so much creative thinking, and it's that type of stuff that I really love to see in my anime. That, of course, in the show certainly has its very own style, which the more I see it, the more I really do see that Trigun influence. It's all over this show, and I'm not just speaking about the cat who had a very obvious reference in this week's episode. My only disappointment with this one is that I was really hoping that we get to see more of that big battle that was teased at the very beginning of the episode, getting to see the other members of Libra joining up with those other spiritual casters. These are the guys who sort of prevented the catastrophe of Hell Salem's Lot and these other dimensions which are getting ready to come together, and they meet this one teleporting girl who seems like she's going to be a lot of fun, but we don't really get to know her all that much. Basically, it's just a little bit of a tease for that character. Zed O'Brien is awesome, too. He's such a great member. It looks like him and Leo are definitely hitting it off, and it looks like they're going to be best friends. He's basically like a positive version of Zap Renfro. They really are like the yin and yang of each other, and, that makes sense considering that they're students of that one blood-style master, so that's really awesome. On the technical side of things, this week's episode looked really good. Just a very nice-looking series. There's just so many different things going on, so many creative designs from all the creatures and monsters and demons. Black and white is awesome. oh my god, that scene where Black walked down that one alleyway and killed those one creepy demons, make that one guy just explode, literally seemed like a Shinra Tensei, just blood exploding all over the place. One big guy completely destroys him. Not only that, but it also seems like Black is also working on the inside. It seems like he's working with those casters as well, the guys who are joining up with Libra. So this might be like a plan to get like rid of them and to get Leo's eyes all at the same time. We're just gonna have to wait to see what they're gonna do with it. According to the preview, it looks like we might have a recap in next week's episode, and that is a huge disappointment if that is the case. But the preview was really funny, especially because it was Sonic the Mock Monkey who was actually narrating the entire thing, and I really liked the detail that as soon as the preview was over, you could actually see his face in the reflection of the TV. Just a nice attention to detail. Otherwise, this was just a very funny episode of the series, which you should definitely check out if you're a fan of the manga version, or if you've just been following the anime version. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the finale. So I'm going to give this week's episode a 4 out of 5, just a really entertaining episode. I found myself laughing out loud quite a bit, and you should definitely check it out. So I like this episode a lot, but what about you guys? Did you watch this week's episode of Blood Blockade Battlefront? Please tell me in the comment section below. Tell me what your favorite moments were and what you hope to see from the last couple episodes of the series. Thank you guys for watching my review. Make sure to like it and share it with all of your friends. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.